اللهم اجعلني فيه من المستغفرين واجعلني فيه من عبادك الصالحين القانتين واجعلني فيه من أوليائك المقربين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Here we are at day number 5 of the blessed month of Ramadan, and as we continue in our review of Ramadhan Reflections, our topic today is on servitude to Allah. Now, literally servitude, or what is referred to in the Islamic books as ubudiyah, is that state that a believer gets into through their own hard work and perseverance to become a true servant, an abd of Allah. An abd being one who has been totally submitting their will to the will of Allah. And whatever the master wishes is what the servant performs. We begin with a verse of the Quran from chapter number 2, verse number 21, that's Surah Al-Baqarah, where Allah addresses humanity. Keep in mind the word humanity here, not just Muslims or the believers, but all of the entire world of creation. And He says the following. He says, O mankind, worship your Lord who created you and those who came before you so that you may become God conscious. This verse is very interesting on numerous levels, namely because of how Allah introduces this concept of servitude to Allah. And He shows us that it is not about Muslim or non-Muslim or other religions, but yet this is a human quality or human characteristic that all of us have to imbibe. That is true servitude, true worship, true resignation to the will of Allah within our lives. We have obviously many other verses of the Quran to deal with this topic, but I want to look at a few of the short sayings of the family of infallibility. May God's peace and blessings be upon them. In the first hadith we have from the commander of the faithful, Imam Ali, peace be upon him. He's been quoted as saying that worship is genuine victory. If we want to see true victory, true success in this world, it's not who wins on the battlefield, it's not who has the largest bank balance, it's not who has the most toys at the end of the game, but rather it is who can be a true servant or who can truly submit themselves and worship Allah in the way that Allah has demanded from all of His creations. Another hadith we have from Prophet Muhammad, may God's peace and blessings be upon him, tells us the following. He says, worship Allah as if you see Him. And if you cannot see Him, then know that indeed He can see you. Now we know as Muslims that it is impossible in this world or the next world to see Allah. He doesn't have a body. He's not a corporeal entity that we can look at Him, at His face, at His arms, at His hands. He's way beyond and far above such descriptions. But the Prophet is giving us just a similitude and a way to understand how we should worship Allah and how we should submit to the commands of Allah. That even though we cannot see Allah, but we should worship Allah as if He is looking directly at us. And indeed, He is keeping His sight, so to speak, on all of His servants. And because He can always see us, not just when we're in the mosque or on the prayer mat, but rather 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, we need to be aware that we are always consciously aware of our actions on a day-to-day basis. And may Allah give us the ability in this blessed month of Ramadan to become true servants of Allah in every meaning of that word. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.